He is Japan's strongest war god. Casey Bowman was just trying to buy a birthday gift for his wife, Namiko Takeda. But while paying, he got targeted by two punks. Realizing this, Casey quickly paid and left, luring the two punks into a deserted, isolated place. But these two had no idea who they were messing with. They pulled out knives trying to rob him. Casey, not wanting trouble, quickly took out his wallet, hoping they'd just take the money and leave. However, the two were greedy. They even wanted the gift he bought for Namiko. That was the last straw for Casey. He immediately taught them a lesson. The two thugs were soon taken down. Angry, they pulled out steel knives, determined to finish him. But Casey kicked the long-haired one down with one blow, followed by a spinning flying kick, and then a sweeping leg strike to knock down the other. When the long-haired guy got back up to attack again, Casey grabbed his arm and quickly held the knife to his throat. Seeing this, the other thug realized how powerful Casey was, dropped his knife immediately, and didn't dare fight again. Casey threw the knife down and left coolly. But when he returned home, he discovered his pregnant wife Namiko Takeda had been murdered. With a strange wound on her neck, Casey broke down in grief, hugging her tightly. Police investigated the scene, but found no useful clues, so Casey could only hold a funeral for Namiko. Unexpectedly, an old friend named Nokobara showed up at the funeral. After burying Namiko, Nokobara comforted Casey and invited him to join his dojo in Thailand. Casey declined on the spot. The police had concluded it was a robbery. He had just been robbed by two punks earlier, so he suspected it was them. The knives they used had a special marking. Casey tracked the marking to a specific dojo, hoping to find the two and get answers. But the dojo members blocked him and tried to throw him out. Fueled by revenge, Casey fought back. To his surprise, none of them were a match. Casey defeated them all with ease, leaving them groaning on the floor. One of them finally confessed the whereabouts of the two punks. That night, Casey ambushed them with a rope trap when they came home. The muscular curly-haired one tried to fight back with a knife, but Casey chopped off his left hand. His partner, enraged, attacked, only to get beaten down hard. Casey then killed him with a single stab. Seeing the one-handed guy try to escape, Casey slashed him again, kicked him into his partner, and finished him off. Casey killed the last thug and from his pocket retrieved the gift he bought for Namiko. This made him more convinced that these two were the murderers. With two enemies down, he traveled to Thailand to find Nokobara. Nokobara was thrilled to see him, happy to have another expert in his dojo. Casey, too, was glad and planned to help Nokobara train students. But on the third day after his arrival, a student was killed with the same wound on the neck as Namiko. Now confused, thinking revenge was already taken, Casey confronted Nokobara. Nokobara said the wound came from a cross-chain weapon, used only by the drug lord of the Golden Triangle, Goro. This guy was ruthless, controlled many dojos and drug routes. Hearing this, Casey set out to find Goro. When he arrived at the location, he was intercepted by a group led by a long-haired thug. After hearing Casey say he was looking for Goro, they ordered their men to attack, but none were a match for Casey. After beating them all down, Casey held a knife to the long-haired one, forcing him to reveal Goro's whereabouts.
Everyone knows who he is, but no one beat him.
Casey was about to leave when the long-haired guy tried to fight back again. After killing him, Casey walked away in despair, planning to rest in a hotel for the night. Just as he was about to take a shower, a group of armed police stormed in. Catching them off guard, Casey suddenly burst out and began teaching them a lesson. He took down one group quickly, then turned to take care of the others. After dealing with the immediate threat, Casey Bowman quickly fled because more enemies were coming and their firepower was fierce. The enemies kept chasing relentlessly, so Casey ran upstairs without stopping, knocking down many enemies on the way. But the number of police grew quickly, and soon they surrounded him. Casey had no choice but to surrender, and was taken to the local police station. The chief asked him why he was looking for Goro, but Casey stayed silent. From the conversation, he sensed the chief was also working for Goro. Seeing he couldn't get any useful info, the chief ordered his men to bring out the electric torture device. The torture made Casey scream in pain, but he still refused to give in. He thought of his wife Namiko before she died, which made him forget the pain and even smile. Then he pretended to faint. The chief thought he really passed out and ordered his men to lock him up, but just as they were about to lock the door, Casey quietly appeared behind them, knocked them both out in 2 seconds, put on one of their uniforms, and tried to sneak out of the station. Unexpectedly, he saw officers were watching the fight between Konkan and Casey on TV. He changed his plan and slipped into the chief's office while they weren't paying attention. After beating the chief, Casey threatened him with a knife, forced him to reveal Goro's location, then killed him, because the chief had done many bad things for Goro. After that, Casey equipped himself and went to find Goro. At the edge of Goro's base, he ran into patrol guards, but they were no match for Casey, and he killed them all in minutes. Then he continued toward Goro's base, and unexpectedly found where Goro bought weapons. Casey took the gear he needed, disguised himself as a ninja, used poison needles to kill the gate guards, and snuck into Goro's base. While the henchmen were drinking and partying, Casey put a grenade in a car's fuel tank. The explosion killed many, but alerted Goro inside. Casey was not afraid, and threw another grenade toward the fuel barrels. The fire spread inside the building. Other henchmen rushed out, but Casey killed them all. Goro's personal bodyguard, Lucas, came out and fought Casey for 300 rounds. Seeing the bodyguard was killed, Casey decided to enjoy the fight. After playing around, he kicked the bodyguard down. Angry, Lucas attacked again, but was cut down with a slash. After killing Lucas, Casey went to find Goro, only to find him waiting, and had already wounded Casey with a cross-chain weapon. Wounded and furious, Casey pulled out his crossblade, attacked Goro, slashed his abdomen. Angry, Goro picked up one of Casey's knives, and they fought fiercely for 300 rounds. During close combat, Goro wrapped a rope around Casey's neck. Casey struggled, threw Goro down, and finished him with one strike. Thinking his revenge was complete, Casey returned to Thailand to find Nokobara. While drinking tea happily, Casey noticed a special mark on the knives of Nokobara's men, the same mark as the punk's knives. Casey immediately realized Nokobara was the real mastermind, and suspected the whole thing was Nokobara's setup. Nokobara used the cross-chain to kill Namiko and the student, to manipulate Casey into killing Goro, so Nokobara could control more dojos and drug business. Nokobara boldly admitted it, and invited Casey to forget the past, and join forces to conquer the world. Angry, Casey immediately attacked him. After a fierce battle with no clear winner, they fought again in close combat, still unable to decide a victor. Nokobara drew his samurai sword, while Casey grabbed the wooden staff to defend. At first, he blocked Nokobara's slashes, but the staff broke quickly. Casey created distance, delivered a spinning kick to knock Nokobara down, picked up a samurai sword, and resumed the fight. Even though Nokobara wielded dual swords, Casey still managed to wound him, but was also caught by Nokobara's blade. Enduring the pain, Casey pulled out his samurai sword and continued fighting Nokobara. Injured, Casey was soon knocked down by Nokobara, but accidentally saw Nokobara's cross-chain weapon. To avenge his dead wife, Casey quickly grabbed the cross-chain during Nokobara's attack, and when Nokobara missed his sword strike, threw the chain to wrap around Nokobara's neck, killing him fiercely. Having avenged his wife, Casey chose not to tell the student about Nokobara's drug dealings, to protect the dojo's reputation, and quietly left. Finally, Casey let go of his hatred, ready to start a new life.